All right, how about that?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, my headphones aren't working the way I thought they would. Uh, so apologies on that.
No problem. Sounds this app is pretty new, so it might be a malfunction with it. But you
Yeah.
need to take some time to figure out. That's cool.
Let's let's see.
Mic checking, mic checking. 1, 2, 3. Still
Yeah, I
hear me?
have AirPods. I'll go grab those real quick. Give me one sec.
No problem. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is Aaron for Mustang coming at you live. I want to give a shout out to Jet Production. I want to give a shout out to Mason Meat Ladder. And I'll give a shout out to XX Shay Honcho. Uh, I've been giving nothing but love and support. So I just give them back the love that they deserve. So,
All right.
testing. Here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah, I got it to work.
All right, bet.
All right.
All right. I'm going to start with the intro, and then I'm going to have you introduce yourself. You ready?
Yeah.
Hello, last gist. This is your man over Mustang, and you're tuning into Aura-Genz, your friendly local hub podcast show. Today we got an electrifying interview lineup that's going to blow your mind. We're diving deep into the world of music, culture, and creativity. Woodful Guest was about to drop some serious wisdom, so get ready to vibe with us because we're about to bring the heat. Celebrate underground artists and the power of music. Stay tuned. It's about to get real. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up? I'm Gene from the band Gene Ross. And I sing. I do the majority of the writing in the band. Yeah, that's basically me in what I do.
Shout out to you. So you remind me what you do again?
So I sing. I do pretty much majority of the writing in the band. And pretty much also kind of manage it a little bit as well. But yeah.
Okay. So you manage, songwrite, and singer as well.
Yes.
Shout out to you. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 24. I live in Texas, for anybody who didn't know that. Um, I've been doing music for about 10 years now, so it's been a minute. And I've been doing music under Gene Ross for the past 4 years now. Um, and that's about all I do is just music, because that's really all I care about these days.
Shout out to you. And tell us, how your band, came together.
So it started as a solo project in like 2020. I just got out of a band, and I kind of just wanted to figure out like what I wanted to do on my own. So I started Gene Ross as a solo act.
Hmm.
And as I started kind of progressing and getting a little bit more busy with the music and people want me to play shows, I was like, I kind of need a band now. So as of last year, it's been an actual band. We're hitting about a year since I made that switch over.
Oh, so
Um,
you're still kind of fresh.
yeah, as like a band, pretty
Hmm.
fresh, but like the name itself has been around for at least like 4 years. But
Okay.
that's like kind of the hard part of like kind of starting a band that already existed. It's like we're trying to do all the new band stuff, work out all the kinks, but at the same time, it's like we're also really busy and we aren't new to other people. So it's like we have to do all the new stuff and all of the like busy
Old
stuff at
stuff.
the same time. Yeah.
Okay. I got you. I got you. And do you mind talking about like, your previous band?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, no problem. So I used to play drums in that band actually. It was called,
okay.
band called the Royals. I just started it with some guys in high school that I used to be friends with, and it's just kind of like one of those first band vibes where like you're all like it's all your best friends like coming together making music and stuff. And is any of it really any good? Maybe, maybe not,
Mm,
but it's definitely like it. I learned a lot just being in that one band that I
mm.
think has helped apply like what I do now.
Okay. So I'm curious, is there any music out from that era
So
about the band?
actually, a lot of the band when I played drums, no, but at one point we kind of did some lineup changes, and I ended up moving to singing in that band. So all the older stuff that's on like currently under Gene Ross is actually from that band. Um,
Mm.
and so like when I disbanded like that group and started Gene Ross, I was like, hey, I wrote these songs. I think it's only fair if I take them. So I just kind of re-released them under like what I'm currently going as right now.
That's
Yeah.
understandable. And I'm curious, my last question on the older
Uh-huh.
band. What was the name?
It's called the
You know,
Royals.
the Royals. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the band now, Gene
Mhm.
Ross, uh how you came up with the name for your band?
Yeah, so in high school, I used to like the school that I went to was kind of like one of those like career high schools where you like kind of pick a pathway and whatnot. So I did film
Mm,
while I was there, and because I really liked writing and I really liked like screenplay writing as well. So
mm,
I would always make up characters, and Gene Ross was one of the characters that I made up because it's kind of just based off of like my name, but just kind of shortened, I guess.
mm,
But that name just always stuck. And then whenever I was looking to start a new project, I was like, that was the first name that came to mind, and I just stuck with it since.
mm. Okay. Shout out to that. And you said this was a character?
Yeah, so I would write like little characters whenever I was in high school, and that just happened to be one of them.
Okay. And do you still write uh coming up with your own characters and stuff, or you don't
Uh,
do that?
Not really, because I kind of just primary focus is just like lyrics and whatnot. Screenplay is just kind of something I'm not that interested in doing anymore, and I kind of just found my niche in songwriting, so I just kind of stuck
Mm.
with that.
Okay. Um, that's cool. That's dope. All right. And when it comes to your bandmates, how many members do you have?
So we have five, including me. It's five total.
Okay.
So we
And you
got
mind telling us
me.
about each member?
Yeah, yeah, of course. So I'll start with Jacob because he's probably the longest running member in the band so far. Um, I used to hire him out back when it was still a solo project just to kind of help me with some live shows, and he was the first person that came to mind when I wanted to like make it a band. So yeah,
Mm.
so he plays like lead guitar, awesome guy, super chill, really nice guy. Let's see, the next person who came along, we got Ricky. He plays rhythm guitar, and he came about like this time last year, just because I used to play guitar and sing in the band, and I'm just not good at doing both of those things at the same time. So told Jacob, I was like, hey, we need another guitarist, and he was like, I can find you one, and now we have Ricky. That's Ricky on rhythm guitar. We got Sebastian on bass. He joined shortly after, and then our newest member is Jack, who we just recruited about a few months ago now. So he's like brand new to the band, and he plays drums.
Okay. So you the lead singer, guitarist,
Mm.
bass, drummer.
Yeah, so we got two guitars, one vocalist, one bass player, one drummer.
Oh, so you got two guitars. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a crowded stage when we play live most of the time.
Okay. And how you came down to, coming,
Um,
why you have, two guitars. That's the first time I heard that.
Yeah, so it kind of just came out of necessity. I like I said, like I used to play guitar like and sing at the same time, but it's just like what I do vocally, especially now with like what we're currently working on. It's just very vocally demanding, and for me to
Mm,
play guitar and sing, it just I would have to be kind of not as good at one of them to be better at the other.
mm,
And I was like, I'd rather not compromise that because ultimately, like, I want like our live experiences to be like the best they can possibly be. So that's why we came up with the idea of just getting one extra guitar player to take all the spots that I would have played. Um, but now it frees me up to, kind of do some crowd control, some nice banter with the crowd as I'm like singing, and I can move around the stage and be as energetic as I possibly can. That's also the other thing is like the thing I hated the most about playing guitar and singing is just like how stationary you are because you have to be like this is the mic, your guitar's right here, so you're
mm.
kind of stuck in one spot the whole time, and I just didn't like that. And
Mm.
so when we got another guitar player, I was like, I can move around now, and I have no excuse to not be super energetic.
Okay, that's what's up. And thanks for the tip. That's understandable from the way how you explain it.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure.
okay. And when it comes to each member, I'm curious, what's their greatest strength, and what do you appreciate about each member?
Uh, I would say what I appreciate about each of them is just how different of a musical background everyone has. Like we all kind of, because like we didn't really like grow up together or anything. Like we probably all just like kind of met each other fairly recently. So it's very interesting to see like where like for instance, like Jack's musical like influences come from. Like they might not be exactly what I listen to all the time, but they somehow come together and like what he's playing based on his influences makes sense in the context of like what we're doing. So I think like that's one of the things that I like the most about working with all these guys is that like they just have such different inputs, and for better or for worse, sometimes that can be uh a little counterproductive when there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but it definitely does offer a lot of like different perspectives and different outlooks on things that I otherwise would have either overlooked or underlooked. But yeah,
Mm. Okay. And what's each member strength?
so I'll start with Jacob. I will say for Jacob, I just really appreciate like his professionalism. Um, he's just very like well spoken, such a very kind person, but he's also very structured as well. So, and I'm very organized. I love being organized. So it's nice to have one extra person who sees what I see as far as like organization. And so we kind of tag team the kind of organizing side of stuff, especially like when we run practices. Like he helps me kind of steer us in the right path and make sure we're on time and on track with what we're doing. So yeah, I'd say that's like one of Jacob's like greatest strengths. Uh, I would say Ricky's strength, definitely. I think just how like passionate he is about like music, and like he can come off as like kind of a little hot-headed, but you can tell like it's coming from a place of passion, and that's just something that like obviously if you want to work with people in a band, you want to make sure they're passionate. So there's never like a question about that. And so that's I'd say his greatest strength. Sebastian, I'd say he's really creative, like not just like obviously like on his instrument, but he's like very talented as far as like drawing and just like making designs and such. So like our earlier like merch runs, like he hand did like everything, and that was such a like nice like relief on everyone else's shoulders because instead of us trying to figure out oh what's the design, Seb's is like hey I can make it no problem. But yeah, so that'd be Sebastian, and then Jack. I would say definitely his greatest strength is just like his energy and the good vibes that he brings. He definitely came at a time where we like definitely needed that kind of energy shift, and we've been all the better for it because of him.
Okay. Shout out to that. And
Yeah.
uh, for a bonus one, what is your strength in your
My
opinion?
strength. Um I guess my strength would be probably just doing this for so long and being very observant because I'm friends with a lot of people who are in different bands of like various status and whatnot. So I've just learned a lot from those people, just like industry insights and whatnot. And I think like my biggest strength is just that extra knowledge that can help us be like 5 steps ahead of like other bands at our level.
Okay. And to bring us back to your merch, can you tell
Mhm.
us a bit more about your merchandise?
Yeah, so we're actually in the process right now, about to get some new merch for our show coming up in October. Well, we're hoping it'll come here in October. It's shipping from uh, halfway across the world, so hopefully it'll get here in time. But yeah, so I had one of my friends help design that, and it's all kind of just in theme with like what we're doing right now. We're kind of in a period of new music, new releases. So we kind of like to change up the aesthetic and like vibe as we kind of release like a new section of like music. So it definitely matches like what we're doing moving forward, and I'm really excited about it. Like I said, my like one of my best friends helped work on it, and it was such a awesome experience working with her. Shout out Alexis for that. But yeah, so that merch should be coming pretty soon. Um, and we'll be selling them at shows. We'll try to sell them online. We're looking into that, but definitely catch us at a show. You'll see that merch there.
Okay, shout out to that. And what do y'all offer for your merchandise?
So right now, just shirts. We offer some stickers, and we also offer some keychains as well. But we are looking into kind of branching out by the end of this year and get like some more stuff going on because we definitely want to make um just really cool merch and the merch that I think like maybe you don't see people use all the time or like something that you would use every day but just happens to have our name on it, you know? Uh
Mm,
Stuff like that, like
good
a tote
marketing.
bag. Yeah, exactly. It's easy marketing. We like to hand out free stickers at like every show. We just tell them like, "Hey, go follow us, get a free sticker," and then we'll see them get plastered like all over like venue bathrooms and whatnot, and get your name out there, you know?
Mm, okay, okay. And where can people support, uh, to go to get these merchandise? Is there
So,
a website or so?
website part, we're definitely going to be working on that. At the very least, if you want to keep updated on it, just kind of just follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Mainly Instagram because a lot of the informational stuff's on there. And that's just at Gene Ross as a band, and that's like just any social media that we're on, it's same username. And we're lucky to have just that one. But yeah, you can just keep track of that. We're always posting like either stories or posts like almost every single day. So you'll always see some sort of update, especially when the merch comes. So we will definitely be very vocal about that because we want people to buy it because it's awesome merch. I'm really stoked for it.
Mm. And here's a fun question. I'm curious. Out
Yeah.
of including you and your bandmate,
hmm
you can answer this from your perspective, what you perceive. Uh, but I'm curious, which out of y'all catalog so far, which is your favorite song?
Favorite song. For me, it's not out yet, so that's kind of a hard question. But it will be out soon. But I would
Okay.
say, for sure, the song that we just put out, Parasite. I think that's like I wrote that song like almost like actually a year ago, about this time a year
Mm,
ago. And so it's kind of just been in like just kind of in the air for the past year, and I've had like different people in the band be like, "Hey, are we gonna start using this? We're gonna start playing it." And I'm like, "I gotta wait for the right time," and now's the right time. And um, I think right now that's probably everyone's favorite song. That one
okay.
specifically, but
The
I'd say it's my
bandmate?
favorite as well. If I had to pick something that's already out, it would be that song.
Okay. So, the music that's not out that you hint
Mhm.
to, when are you planning on dropping it?
So, and you'll be the first to know as well. So we're actually gonna make an announcement tomorrow. So we just dropped a single called Parasite. In about a couple weeks, we're gonna drop another single, and we will also simultaneously announce our EP that we've been working on over the summer. And that we are fingers crossed trying to aim for like a late October release. So far, it's looking like that's gonna happen, but obviously, I don't want to give an exact date and something bad happen. Uh, but yeah,
Mm.
that's about all I can say right now. Is new singles coming out in about 2 weeks, and about a month after that, we have an EP coming out.
So, to be fair, since this
Mhm.
EP is going to be in rotation, it's going to be about a month before it comes out.
Mhm.
So, technically, could we hear more?
Oh, so this comes out. This drops when?
Probably within a month, because it's in rotation with other artists that I've done before you.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
their EP gonna come out first.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, it's about a month from now. It won't
Mm-hmm.
be out yet, but it'd already be announced by then. So, I guess I'll spill some beans on it then.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So like I said, we got the one single coming out, the next single, Say You're Sorry, that's coming out, like I said, in like 2 weeks. So I think by the time this airs, it will already be out. So it's gonna be a 4-track EP. Um, all the songs. This is like the first time I think, because like all the previous releases were kind of just stuff I had already worked on before everyone joined the band, and this is the first time everything was written with like everyone in mind. So it's definitely it's not a super like detached like sound from like what everyone's used to, but it definitely is a little different, but in a good way. And I think it makes sense for like where we're at as a band. Um, and just like what we've been listening to, what's like really been inspiring us lately, and I'm really excited for these sets of songs. Definitely, like for sure, the best stuff I think we've written, and the best stuff I think I've ever written so far. Um, but yeah,
Shout out to them. So you have two singles and the EP dropping
yes. So two
within
singles, two additional songs on the EP. So there'll be two songs nobody's ever heard yet. Um, and those I just got back from our producer. Shout out Nick from a band called Thornhill. They're from Australia, super awesome guys. But yeah, so I just got stuff back from him, and it's looking like we're gonna be on time with the release.
mm,
Um, songs sound so good, and I'm so excited. We're gonna start playing them live pretty soon, probably in our October shows. We'll try to debut them. Uh,
no.
we'll just see, but yeah, I'm
I'm
like I
curious
said, super excited.
I'm curious how y'all go about testing out your music.
Testing it out.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what I usually do, is by the time so like my writing styles like since I've done like music kind of by myself for probably more than I have collaboratively with people, I usually start with pretty much a near complete song, like drums added, bass, guitar, everything. Like I have all of that done, and I kind of sit on it for a while. If I'm really, really digging it after a while, I'll bring it to the band, be like, hey, what do you guys think? And then they'll tell me, yeah, it's awesome, or no, it sucks. And then that's usually how I test it from there. And then I'll kind of just send it to various like people, and just be like, hey, like, what do you think about this? And that's usually how we do it. But as far as like live, we try not to play anything that isn't out, just because, especially like with the shows that we do play and like where we're at in the bill, we're usually like kind of openers or like second to opening. And so for me, I kind of treat like those small runtime sets as like kind of like an interview, and like instead of showing them like what could be out, I'd rather show them like, hey, like this is already out. So if you like this song,
Mm.
you go listen to it right now because it's there. Yeah, so usually by the time we already play them live, it's either already out or it's like a week away from being out. So uh, we usually just kind of make it a surprise for everybody, like fan wise. Um, Sometimes, like I go TikTok live a lot, when I
Mm.
record or just play guitar and whatnot. So sometimes I'll kind of leak them. So if anyone's ever been in one of my lives, you've probably heard probably all these songs by now. Um, but to like the mass public, it will be brand new for everyone.
Okay. I think I like the way how you strategize. Uh, giving meaning to like for giving reason for people to go follow you is to
Yeah,
get a chance to hear some unexclusive music. So that's pretty dope. I think you definitely got a marketing uh strategy that's working, formula that you got cooking up.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and tell us a little bit about your experience performing live. How was that for you?
So I'll start from just like kind of that transition of like going from being like in the very back, being a drummer in a band to being in the very front. It
Mm,
definitely was like the weirdest experience. Because like people who know me, I'm not like that like extroverted and whatnot. I'm uh pretty like to myself most of the time. So for me, when I get on stage, I try to just be the exact opposite of like who I am. So like usually like what's helped me in the past is I used to wear like sunglasses on stage. Just because like my thought process is if I can't see anybody in the crowd, I can
mm,
just pretend they're not there and I can just kind of sing and play like I'm just kind of singing to myself. And that's helped a lot. As of late, I haven't worn the sunglasses. I think I've just gotten a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable with like my voice and like what I'm able to do live. Um,
mm,
so yeah, but yeah, it was definitely like a weird like learning curve, but it got me out of my comfort zone, and I think it's just helped me be a lot more outgoing, like in my personal life as well. But yeah, but I really just kind of put on like kind of like a persona almost, and just be a completely different person. Because at the end of the day, like whenever people come to see us, like it's probably their first time seeing us, they don't know who we are, so they don't know me personally. So it's not like I should overthink what they're thinking about me because they don't know anything about me. And
mm,
obviously they're there for a show and it's my responsibility to give them that show. So I don't want to be on stage and be super boring and look like I'm nervous and scared of everything because obviously the crowd will pick up on that. So definitely
mm.
like that challenge of just being like that front man is it's a good challenge. It's good stress for me.
Okay. And I'm curious, what songs have y'all gotten the chance to perform live out of y'all
So
catalog?
out of our catalog, um, we've played pretty much everything that's out, with the exception of like a few of like the old like band songs. But for the
Mm,
most part, like everything's kind of been on a set list at one point. Obviously, right now with us writing new stuff, we've been having to unfortunately say goodbye to some of those songs for the meantime until we like play longer sets. Uh,
mm,
so that's kind of been the biggest challenge right now is figuring out which ones to get rid of and which ones to keep. Because obviously, like we want to play new songs, but obviously, people want to hear like songs that they really like as well, and that might be an older song. So it's kind of just that balance. But yeah, but we try to play as pretty much anything that we have released, unless we just
okay.
don't feel like playing it, and then we'll just swap it out for something else.
Okay. So I'm curious for you and your bandmates.
Mhm.
Do y'all have a favorite song out of y'all catalog y'all like to perform?
Mm. Like to perform. So we actually kind of had this conversation in our last practice a few days ago. So we put out a song in I think like May, maybe April, called "Death of an Introvert." It's a
Mm.
very like kind of left field song for us. It's not as like conventional that like what we usually do, but crowd reaction to it is like overwhelmingly positive, and as we've just practiced it more and performed it more, I think we've all kind of uh started unanimously agreeing that like that's probably our favorite song to perform live right now.
Okay. And what was the name of the song?
Death of an Introvert.
Death of an Introvert. Okay. And hitting the 30 mark, how you feeling?
You said what now?
I said hitting the 30 minute mark, how you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great.
All right. Continue pushing forward. Side note, Origin has the collaboration with Jet Production. They make short action films and they're looking to collaborate with artists. Not just with soundtracks, but they're willing to help y'all create a action music video as well.
Okay.
If you're interested in I can send you information after this podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I'd be down.
all right, bet. Our second collaboration, I'm not sure if you're looking for somebody that do 2D animation. He do logos, music videos. So if you're looking for an animated music video, we have somebody that we can recommend.
Yeah, for sure. We're always trying to branch out and like work with different creative people that aren't necessarily musicians. Uh, just because we like all sorts of different kinds of art and different like art mediums, and I think like just working with just those different kinds of artists is like it's a good way to challenge ourselves to think outside of what we normally would think our music
Hmm.
should like kind of visually look like. And it's also cool to see like other artists like interpretation of like what our music sounds like to them.
Okay. Okay. I will send you their information after this.
Yeah,
And
for
I'm
sure.
curious from hearing you bringing that up.
Mhm.
You said that you was looking for talents outside of music, correct?
Yeah, we're always looking for like graphic designers, any like
Mm.
photographers, always stuff like that, videographers. Because like I said, I love working with like different kinds of people, and just I like seeing like I said, like how people interpret it, like how people interpret our music, like and what that means, like what that looks like to them. Especially like when it comes to like music videos, I'm not very like I can get a general concept of something down, but obviously like it's not my specialty, so it's cool to work with people
Mm.
that only do that kind of stuff, and just see like what's going on in their mind and like what is like what they have plans for, like when they hear a song that they want to work on with us.
Hmm. And so I'm curious on your radar, what other talents are I see you brought up
Uh,
photographers. Oh, good.
yeah, photographers, videographers, that's pretty much the main ones right now. And yeah, I mean, we're always just open to really anything as long as it's reasonable and like we enjoy working with that person and they enjoy working with us. Like we're always open to work with anybody.
Okay. Okay. And I'm curious when it comes to your music,
Mhm.
what categories does it fall through?
Uh,
Well, genre.
so genre, that's like the biggest question I think everyone always asks us, and that's like the biggest question that I feel like we always avoid. Um, Mainly because like it's not like the cliche like oh we're like we don't want to put ourselves in a box or whatnot, because I mean like obviously like you kind
Mm.
of have to put yourself in some sort of box for people to understand like where you're coming from. It's more or less just like I think our influences are kind of all over the place that we uh, it's very interesting to pinpoint an actual genre, but I would say for sure it's kind of like post-hardcore emo like rock. That's definitely I think the core three like things that I think are the most consistent in our music.
Mm.
Especially like for me personally, because I grew up on that kind of music and it's what I love listening to. So I always write stuff that I want to listen to, and that's the kind of music I like.
Okay. And it sounds like you're willing to explore,
Mhm.
more genre. So realistically, what other genres can we see y'all explore into or dabble into?
Yeah, for sure. So like with Death of an Introvert, I was talking how that's kind of like a left field song for us, mainly because it's kind of like almost a shoegaze song. in a lot of ways with like just the amount of like layers of guitars and everything that's going on. Um, like I said, it's definitely a different song, and even like the tuning for it is like super low compared to like what we're usually doing. So it's definitely like different, but as long as it like kind of makes sense in the context of what we're doing, and it doesn't feel like we jumped the shark on like an idea, we're always open to exploring things. Especially with these new songs that are coming out. Like I said, it's definitely some of the more different things that we've worked on as compared to like what we usually do. Like I would say like even Parasites definitely uh and whatnot, and we have like certain songs in this EP